putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
I can protect our country at many levels. This guy thought he was Super Agent James Bond at the FBI. This is obvious. I'm afraid we can't take that risk. We can't. There's no way we can let the American people make Donald Trump the next president. I got to protect our country. This is unbelievable. And I'm here to tell you, Mr. Rosenstein, I think the public trust in this whole thing is gone.
Here, Jim Jordan. Kevin Jackson's who you're listening to, folks. Kevin Jackson Show, KJRadio.com, 844-551-8255. Jim Jordan asking Rosenstein, what should be the next steps? He's trying to figure out what we need the next special counsel, don't you think? Let's listen to the rest of the clip, and then I want to get into what's happening with Michael Flynn, General Flynn. New developments there. Well, not so new, but hey, we got a lot of news to cover, and I wish we could cover it all as it happens, but it's just too much. But the good news is it's good news for us. Let's play that clip.
So it seems to me you got two things you can do. You're the guy in charge. You're the guy who picked Mueller. You're the guy who wrote the memo saying why you needed to fire Comey. You're the guy in charge. You could disband the Mueller special prosecutor, and you can do what we've all called for. Appoint a second special counsel to look into this, to look into Peter Strzok, Bruce Orr, everything else we've learned in the last several weeks.
Yes, Congressman, and I can assure you that I consider it very important to make sure the thorough review is done, and our Inspector General is doing a thorough review. That's how we found those text messages as part of that review.
You've given that answer like 15 times. Let me ask you this. Are you concerned? I mean, this is what a lot of Americans are believing right now, and I certainly do, that the Comey FBI and the Obama Justice Department worked with one campaign to go after the other campaign. That's what everything points to. Think about what we've learned in the last several weeks. We first learned they paid for the dossier. Then we learned about Peter Strzok. And last week we learned about Bruce Orr and his wife, Nellie. I mean, this is unbelievable. So what's it going to take to get a second special counsel to answer these questions and find out, was Peter Strzok really up to what I think he was?
I think it's important to understand, Congressman, we have an Inspector General who has 500 employees and a $100 million budget. And this is what he does. He investigates allegations of misconduct involving department employees. That review that he is conducting is what turned up those text messages. It will also involve interviews of those persons and of other witnesses.
And we're looking forward to his report, and we've met with Mr. Horowitz, and we're anxiously awaiting that report. But that doesn't dismiss the fact that the country thinks we need a second special counsel. 20 members of this committee, the Judiciary Committee with primary jurisdiction over the Justice Department, thinks we need a second special counsel. All kinds of senators think we need a special counsel. What fact pattern do you have to have? What kind of text messages do you have to see before you say it's time for a second special counsel?
Jim Jordan grilling Rosenstein, and rightfully so. I want to move on. I want to talk about General Mike Flynn. In March of 2017, then FBI Director James Comey briefed a number of Capitol Hill lawmakers on the Trump-Russia farce. The article said investigation. I added farce. One topic of intense interest was a case of Michael Flynn, the Trump White House National Security Advisor, who resigned under pressure on February 13th, just 24 days into the job. There were widespread reports that Flynn had lied to Vice President Mike Pence about telephone conversations that he, Flynn, had with the Russian ambassador Sergei Kislyak during the transition late December 2016. And on January 24th of 2017, two of Comey's FBI agents went to the White House to question Flynn. There was speculation later that Flynn lied in that interview, which would be a serious crime. You know what's funny? When I heard this, I remember thinking to myself, this is no big deal. Why are they constantly... The White House is talking to another country, and it's in whatever form or fashion the Russian ambassador. If you're National Security Council, trust me, you're going to be interfacing with the Russians. We've been playing cat and mouse with them in spy games for decades. What's the big deal? Now, I don't know why Flynn would have said, no, I didn't, or maybe I did. Maybe he didn't recollect. I don't know. But to me, it was a no-brainer. If I'd been talking to the Russians, I would have said, yeah, I think I maybe had one or two conversations with them. Sure. Yeah. Well, could I say what it's about? No, it's none of your business. It's below your pay grade. FBI agent or not, you can't, I'm not going to tell you what I said. I never understood what this was about. They said this January 24th interview potentially puts Flynn in legal jeopardy. Lying to the FBI is a federal offense. I can't imagine that a 3-star general with the level of confidence you would have to be a 3-star general, that you would be intimidated with FBI. I'll put it to you this way. I'm not a 3-star general. I'm a relative nobody. If the FBI is asking me questions about what I did 2 days ago, I'm going to answer. And I'll say this again for the people that keep telling me, Kevin, Donald Trump shouldn't talk to the FBI or talk to Mueller because they're just going to twist him up. I'm going, that is the biggest farce. It's the biggest bunch of nonsense I've ever heard in my life. I could talk to the FBI 100 times about something that I did, and I guarantee you 100 out of 100, I come out innocent. Kevin, did you collude with the Russians to get Hillary Clinton, to keep Hillary Clinton from being, the president of the United States? No. But I colluded with a lot of Americans. That I did. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll admit to that. Oh, they just got you. No, they didn't. They didn't get me for anything. They asked me, did I collude with the Russians? Nope. But I colluded with a bunch of Americans. And you know what? We won. We sure did. We kept that chick. We kept her little fat behind up in Chappaqua or wherever she lives, because she should never be president of the United States. And by the way, just to add this to your investigation, I hope there were people colluding with the Russians. Yeah, because she doesn't need to be elected. You should be ashamed of yourselves for even, if somebody colluded to keep Hillary Clinton out, you should be thanking them. You should be looking for them to give them a medal. That's what I would have said. Don't try to tell me it's intimidating to talk to you. It's not intimidating to talk to the government. I'm talking to my employees. FBI shows up here. Hey, fellas, how y'all doing? They treating you okay up there? You should be sure to let me know. Because you know what I'll do? I'll let my thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people understand what you guys are going through. That's my role. Now, how can I help you fellas? Well, Kevin, there's an impropriety. Well, really? Well, then I tell you what, you do your due diligence and keep me posted and let me know if anybody's bothering you up there. I'll see y'all later. Thanks for checking in, employees. We don't work for them. I'm not intimidated by them. Intimidated by the IRS. For what? I filed my taxes the right way. Don't cheat. Here they are. I don't make enough money to be worried about cheating. And even if I did, I wouldn't. Because my answer has always been with taxes is make enough to not worry about it. You know what I mean? Even at 40% tax bracket, 39.5, I was at years ago, I just tell myself, you're getting hosed. But the only answer you have at this point, because I wasn't political, is make sure you make enough money. Don't sweat it, bro. Anyway, they said there was a lot of concern in Congress, at least among Republicans, about the leak of the wiretap Flynn-Kislyak conversation. Such intelligence is classified at the highest level of secrecy that someone, Republicans suspect that Obama appointees in the Justice Department and the intelligence community, revealed it to the press. So here's what's interesting about the Flynn thing. The Obama administration had its hide. They got their skin on the wall. The skin on the floor, head on the wall, the Hunter analogy. And they got him. They got Flynn. He admits to some, BS lie. Oh, you told us this the other day. You said this. Now you're saying this. Which is it, Mr. Flynn? And he blinked. So that's how that occurred. But what's interesting about it is the Democrats, what's funny, they always end up screwing themselves over because in such a zeal to get to Flynn, they forgot they were going to, essentially expose trade secrets on how they did it. That's what sort of ratcheted everything up to how did they possibly know? When they told what Trump had said to the Mexican president and the Australian prime minister, then people were like, wait a minute, this is beyond some insider, because you can't say it's Reince Priebus or Katie, what's her face, that used to work for Priebus and all that, when they were nowhere near this conversation. I'm in my office talking only to the Australian Prime Minister, and something I said leaks into the New York Times. That's when Trump made the declaration, the Obama administration is spying on me, and they said he's crazy, unhinged, etc. Where do we find ourselves now? Even Flynn is now saying, remove me from my deal. I'm now going to start looking into suing for my freedom And not only that, and I hope he goes this far, I hope he absolutely rakes these other suckers over the coal who made him put his house up for mortgage, etc. I talked about this the other day. All the financial hardships that this man were created by this man who served his country well. Shameful, because now we learn they didn't even think he was guilty. You want to know why? Because he wasn't. Shameful, Comey, Obama, Clinton, all you leftists.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.